Amazing. I think we are live now. I can see people are joining slowly but surely, which is great. Hello, everyone. Greetings from InUni UK. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. My name is Degina Badirel, and I'm the Director of Recruitment within InUni UK Division, a company of global university systems overseeing international students recruitment for a number of our partner universities. Today, I'm extremely excited to talk about our premium partner university, beautiful Canterbury Christchurch University. And you can see Canterbury Cathedral in my background with lovely blue skies as well. And that's where the graduation takes place. For students of CCCU. Today, I'm really excited also to talk about the School of Engineering, Technology and Design within CCCU. And I'm joined by academic team of the school. So we have Dr. Scott Turner and Dr. Amina Suag, who are associate heads of School of Engineering, Technology and Design. So really important people. Really excited to hear about the school within CCCU, about the programs they offer, and to learn more. And I hope you are as well. I'm also joined by Richard Venner, who is International Business Development Manager at CCCU, and by my colleagues in uni marketing team. So we have Sukanya and Chinks in the background who are helping us to run this webinar smoothly. Just a few housekeeping rules before we start. You're all on mute. If you'd like to ask any questions whatsoever, feel free to pop them into the Q&A section. So that's Q&A section rather than chat section. And we will take them from there at the very end of the webinar. Other than that, sit back and enjoy. And I really hope you find this webinar inspiring and helpful, and I hope you can stay with us till the end. But in case if not, the webinar is being recorded, so if you miss anything, the recording will be shared with you later on as well. Thank you, and it's over to you, Dr. Scott.
Hi, so thank you everyone for joining us. So yes, I'm Director of Computing and Module Leader on both MSc and undergraduate programs. So yeah, this is a very exciting thing for me to talk about. Amina, do you want to introduce yourself a bit?
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Amina Suwag. I am the course director of the BSc Data Computer Intelligence and module leader in both MSc undergraduate and undergraduate programs.
So we both have, as you can gather, we both have experience in both the undergraduate and the postgraduate. And our team, the academic team, is actually quite international, with people from, well, Algeria, China, Bangladesh, all over the world, and also others who are from the UK who've traveled all over the place. And so we like international students. They're really important to us. So CCU, Canterbury Christchurch University, is a widening participation university. What that means is we care about our students in terms of we want them to come and have a positive experience with us, that we look to make what you do with us have meaning. And sustainability, sustainable future is a big thing at CCU. Next slide, please. So Canterbury is a pretty, as already been said, is a pretty city. It's not a big city, but it is close to London. I think we'll get onto that. And it does have, what, 2 universities, or 3 universities, if you include one that's actually partly in Canterbury. And it's quite a nice place to spend some time, and it's a friendly city. Next slide, please. So in 2021, as we were just coming out, as everybody was, from the COVID pandemic, we moved into this building, the Verena Homes building. £65 million was spent on it. It's a building for the university's focused all of the science, technology, health, medicine, also a bit of policing. All of this is in the building. And the first floor is pretty much dedicated to computing and engineering. It's made up of plenty of computing suites, including some of the most up-to-date machines in the whole university for doing VR. And we've got dedicated spaces for with separate networks for those that are interested in cybersecurity, so people can play with the networks and not be getting in trouble with the university. Next slide, please. Support is extremely important to us. So supporting the students is really important to us. So everybody would have a dedicated personal academic tutor. They're there to just to support you. So somebody you've got a point of you've always got them as a point of contact if there's issues, personal or any other issues. They won't always solve the issue. They will probably pass you on, which will bring you, but they'll pass you on to an appropriate person. That's what the student support teams do. We'll get to them. You've also got a dedicated course director. So every course has a course director. They are another point of contact that you can ask questions, as is any of the module leaders and tutors. What is often said about the School of Engineering, Technology and Design is the staff are friendly, and that has been my experience when I joined, well, almost 5 years ago now. So you, as well as these, you can talk to other tutors. As well as all of this, as well as the bit that we can do, the university provides loads of support, and it's not unusual that people reach out to get that support on financial help, on health and well-being, if there's disabilities, placements, reaching out to the student union. It's all part of the package and not an added extra. Next slide, please. So why us? At both undergraduate and a postgraduate, we don't require very specific subject knowledge. So for our undergraduate, and Amina will talk a lot more about those, it's not assumed that you're going to come in with loads and loads of experience in computing. That's what we work with you on. As long as you're interested and want to work and meet the entry requirements, that's fine. Staff are well qualified in research and knowledge exchange. So what do I mean by that? Well, some people come from industry, some people have come from research backgrounds, some do lots of work with companies. In fact, that's part of one of our things, if you like, that our courses, where we can, we try and find industry related projects. Now that sounds a very easy thing to say. It's not easy to do. Not every assignment is industry focused, but where we can, we do. And that can take the form of having a company that wants a particular small problem looked at. Then it's not consultancy, you know, that they're not expecting wonderful things all the time, though they do get that in some cases. But they would be a client that says, this is my requirements, this is what I need, this is this bit. They would come back and feed back to students. So you get to work with real clients on projects that are real projects, if you like. The university holds a silver rating for the TEF, the Teaching Excellence Framework, which means we've exceeded national quality requirements. Bringer Homes is a really nice building, and it's a nice place to work and to study. It's bright, it has good equipment. Where we can, we teach using commercial software or software that's industry relevant. And one of our key things that I believe is a selling point for us is we are friendly. It's easy to say, but I think we live up to it, and our experience says we do. And student experience and student feedback is. The campus is nice. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site that we're surrounded by. Like I said, Canterbury is quite a nice place to stay and work in, and it's close to London. Next, please. Next slide, please. So a little bit more about those kind of industry focus. It goes a little bit more than just industry focus. We are project and problem-based learning focus. It's sometimes described as CDIO, conceive, design, implementation, operate. But the central thing is we try to provide real problems, and we can't find problems that are not industry focused. We still work on providing a problem-based thing. You'll be solving problems to learn. That is one of our central features. I've already mentioned about the industry relevance of the course, but we do talk to industry, we do work with industry, and having those industry projects actually helps with that. It's important for you to work actively. We don't do 4 hours of lectures and all that kind of stuff for a module. We might have a lecture for an hour or so. No, we're less than that usually, and a lot of what you do be actively doing it. Our students, we find, learn better from actually practicing what they need to do. And part of that is working with others, working with peers to sort out these problems. We very rarely go online, only in an emergency, but for teaching, but we will provide materials for you to do online out of the class. We will use the online for when we can't get the speakers in from industry. They may sometimes come online. And we're looking to provide a nice mixture of engaging but sufficiently complex problems for you to work on and concepts to play with, that you can then go, okay, I feel confident about what to do. Next slide, please. We are very, very careful about who we recruit for our academic team to teach you. They have to be student focused and carefully chosen so that you can get the best experience possible with these staff. So they've got to be supportive, the structure, and know how to build your self-confidence up, because sometimes computing can feel challenging, and it should be challenging, but your confidence should be built by the activities that we do. So if we are criticizing something, it's constructive, and it is all about the work, not the person. It's really important. We expect you to, or we hope you move on to become more self-motivated and self-directed as you go through the courses. And all of our assessment methods are carefully chosen to be suitable for the module. So there isn't a blanket, you do coursework all the time. It might be that you would do an activity to show your knowledge, and then you might have another assessment where you're building something or you're writing reports, or a combination of the last two. Next slide, please. So I'm going to hand you over to Amina, who is as the course director, among many things, for the data computer intelligence.
Thank you, Scott. So we offer a variety of courses for the undergraduate level. We have business information systems, data computer intelligence, computer forensic and security, computer science, computing, software engineering. They are all available with a foundation year, and they are all have all the possibility to take a year in industry. So I'm going to go through all these courses to give you an idea what they are about. Next slide, please. So if you are interested in both IT and business, then this is probably the course for you. Our BSc BSc Business Information Systems, led by our colleague Gareth Ward. The course is aimed at those interested in applying IT technologies on the organizational or business setting. So it kind of combines both computing elements and business elements. And in fact, actually, some of the modules are offered by the business school, and some of the modules are offered by our team in computing. Next slide, please. Another courses we offer at the undergrad level is the computer forensic and security. Essentially, if you want to become an IT security expert or a forensic expert, then this course is for you. It is for those who wish to work in law enforcement or business industrial security. So this is the forensic part. Or those with interest in general computer security related to databases, networking, and individual PCs. It is led by our colleague, Dr. Mandy, and we focus on forensic and security. Next slide, please. Another course we offer is computer science, which touches a little bit to everything. It enables you to develop software that will process data and combining aspects of high-performance computing, artificial intelligence, visual data analytics, intelligent cloud, and data systems. And it is led by our colleague, Dr. Hanan Azhar. Next slide, please. We offer also a BSc in computing, and it is aimed for those who wish to support computer systems, those essentially who position themselves as offering support as user support, networking security, small development, or systems improvement using existing tools. And it is led by our colleague, Dr. Vijay Sahota. Next slide, please. Our newly introduced course, Data Computing Intelligence, which I lead. Essentially, it was introduced to respond to an increased demand in the job market on AI and data skilled graduate. And as the title suggests, it focuses on data computing intelligence. So you will be able to design and develop software with modules related to programming design, development, software engineering, web programming. It will enable you also to solve real-world problems with intelligent systems. Module include artificial intelligence, and it will enable you to be comfortable with data, database development, and create intelligent data analytics solutions with modules that cover the visual data analytics and database design and implementation. Next slide, please. The other course we offer is software engineering, which basically prepares you to be a good software engineer. It covers all elements of software engineering, including programming, database development, analysis and design, web and traditional development, and it is led by our colleague, Tim Jackson. Next slide. So we offer a foundation year. Essentially, if you have stopped studying for a long period or you're coming from a different background, sometimes, depends on where you're coming from, we require to spend a year, acquire the basics before starting the course. And some of the modules that this foundation year cover is computing in society, programming concepts, individual development project, working with hardware, working with software, and basic maths, essentially to catch up before starting the real course. Next slide, please. We have a flexibility in our undergraduate degrees. Essentially, if you're not yet sure what do you want to choose, which course should I go for, you can choose the one that sounds the most relevant. And then when you spend 1 year with us, you can decide to change. After taking some modules, after the first year, we offer you the possibility to change. In fact, we had few students who took software engineer, for example, and then said, no, I think I'm more interested in data intelligence. So they are going to the second year to this course. Next slide, please. So how our courses are structured. All BSc courses last 3 years if you take full-time, or 6 years part-time. The foundation year is full-time, lasting 1 year, and you can spend 1 year in placement in industry. Each student must study modules that are 120 credits, and the modules are either 20 or 40 credits. So what does that mean in terms of hours? Next slide, please. Typically, that translates as 200 hours of study per module, 50 hours contact time, that's with your lectures, 50 hours reviewing notes and understanding time, and you're expected to spend 100 hours on doing the assignments and revision time. Next slide, please. So we offer a blend methods of teaching. The main methods of teaching, we use lectures, practical workshops, student-led seminars, tutorials, or presentation, group projects, etc. Next slide, please. So how do we assess you? We don't rely much on the traditional pen and paper exams, because we are doing computer science related subjects, and in that sense we propose assessment. We propose a variety types of assessment. Some of assessment could be a production of a software artifact. For example, you will be developing a database and then you'll be assessed for that. And sometimes the whole project, or developing the database from the design until the implementation. We do oral presentations, poster presentations. We do some TCA, sometimes time-constrained assignment that could be taken on the machines, investigation-based presentation, etc. Next slide, please. So the potential career upon graduation is endless. CCU is first for graduate getting into work. And in terms of the courses we offer, it could be business analyst, software analyst, web application, machine learning engineer, cybersecurity specialist, system administrators. I mean, the door is open for many opportunities. Next slide, please. I'm going to hand it now to Scott. Back to Scott. Who's going to talk about the postgraduate.
Thank you. Just to clarify something, the business information systems isn't a common first year, because about 2/3 of the course, sorry, about 2/3 of the course, but 2/3 of every year are taught by the specialist from the business school. So it can't be a common first year in that respect, but every other course is. And we look at ways around to help with that. And we don't get many people trying to transfer, because they realize that business information is the course that they actually suits them best. They're getting what they want. So we have 2 taught MScs, data intelligence and cybersecurity technologies. These are open to anyone who has a STEM, science, technology, engineering, maths, and numerate degree. And That does include, and we do get loads of people joining from business background. Perfect, great. Where we have to look at a little bit more is when people don't come from those degree backgrounds, but do have evidence that they can do it, like a A-level or equivalent in maths. But we are looking for, people who can, yep, let's move on, it's fine. Next slide, please. So this is the structure of that course. You would do principles of data intelligence programming, which is Python, starts off with Python programming, and then it's not trying to turn you into a Python general programmer. It's about Python for data science and for AI. So you'd move about a third of the way into the course. We would be focusing on the data science aspects, the data side really of Python, how we use it, what we can do with it, those kind of things. And you'll be playing with lots of different ways of doing that. Data in action is about applying data ideas, thinking about where what you do has impact. It's all focused, or the assessments are all focused around a particular problem. Information security management is there because, yes, you're not on a cybersecurity degree, but you need to be aware of the security aspects of handling data, what kind of infrastructures that you need for doing that. AI for data intelligence is a introduction, but with lots of practice of various different AI techniques, getting you used to the idea of things that we need to consider when we set up a data solution. And sometimes people hear AI and they think, oh, it's going to be a scary thing. These are the techniques that are being used very widely now. They're not something that's some obscure thing. They are very practical. Big data, database development. This is Amina's area, and it is what it says on the tin here. It is about learning about database development. We are not assuming that you know at any of these courses that you know a lot about programming, database. This is what we develop. We develop it at a very quick pace, but it's about applying those techniques, those thoughts, those processes to solving problems. This one, sometimes people are a bit surprised about data visual analytics. It's incredibly important that you know how to present, analyze data, and visually present that. It's a skill that lots of people lack, and we're trying to address that. The professional research methods and project, that's really your master's level dissertation. You would take on a project with support from supervisors, but also there will be taught sessions on doing the project or how you go about it, refining because you're already at this level, degree level students, you've already passed your degree. Fantastic. That's a great thing. It means that we can just fine tune the skills rather than having to teach them all from scratch about how you go about doing research. And then there is a data intelligent placement option. It's a 0 credit module. It is optional. It's not core. That is the only module on this that's not a core module. Next slide, please. So similarly to the computer data intelligence, it was recognized, it's been recognized, especially in the UK, but it is worldwide, that there's a need for people to be able to both understand data science and to understand AI and doing intelligent analysis of this. What this is not turning you into is an all-around computer scientist and all the rest of it. There will be a lot of those aspects, but we're focusing on data science. We're focusing on trying to that interdisciplinary nature, which is why we love the fact that people are coming in from various backgrounds. Like I said, business, we've had biologists, we have all sorts of people joining, some mechanical engineers, some computer scientists, a whole range join this course. And we're talking about applying various techniques to looking at data. Next slide, please. Three main options: September start or January start, and full-time. All of these are full, and the full-time with placement. Next slide, please. But just to kind of reinforce this a little bit, it has been recognized that there is a need for AI-related job postings, that having people who can understand data skills and is a highly employable skill. A lot of the team that you will meet do it for real, if you like. My area is machine learning. Amina does various types of AI and applies them to health data. And one of the things that we're seeing more and more is either some of our students will publish their work jointly with their supervisor for that final year, for that MSc project. Some are now going on and joining us as PhD students when there is opportunities. In fact, I think probably most of our PhD students that are now with us have come through the MSc Data Intelligence route. Next slide, please. The other one is MSc Cybersecurity Technology. So one of the modules we've already talked about, Information Security Management, and also the AI for Data Intelligence, they are needed for both areas. So there is overlap between the two courses, purposely designed that way. Again, this is another one where we're trying to, well, we're not trying, we are turning people who are coming in without cyber background into having a much better understanding, but it's not a requirement to join this course. So you would have a module, Cybersecurity Fundamentals would be looking at, as the name suggests, the fundamentals of cybersecurity, what's involved, what these terms mean, all of these kind of aspects. Network protocols, because cyber and networking go alongside each other, you would be looking at those protocols and how they are relevant to cybersecurity. Computer security and cryptography digs in a little bit more deeper, specifically at those areas, and a bit about cryptography so you understand what that means. With AI is again there, and it's important that you understand where cybersecurity fits in with what's going on around us. All through our courses, we are trying to show you where this is applicable and why you are doing this, so you understand the ethics, all of these kind of things. That runs through all courses. Again, you got the project, and there is a placement option as well. Next slide, please. So this MSc course is provisionally accredited by the National Cybersecurity Centre. What does that mean? No, it's provisional. Why does that matter? Well, the course has only been in existence for about a year now. We can't get full accreditation for a little bit longer. We had to show that this course does meet their requirements, and this is an agency that checks the validity of cybersecurity courses. So they were happy with what we proposed. Sorry, what we've put to them, the course that we're running. They just need to see us running for a while and understand the ins and outs of that. Next slide, please. Why are we running out of MSCs? Because we're trying to address national and international skills gaps by finding people who wouldn't normally go into these areas to go into these areas and support them going that way. It's in a huge demand across the economy in the UK and worldwide. A report in 2022 found that 51% of businesses have basic cybersecurity gaps. Some of those are very, very easy to fix. Some of them not so much. There's believed to be an average of needs for about 21,600 new recruits needed every year to meet this demand. Next slide, please. So I know we've gone through it quite quickly, but what's next for you? And if these appeal to you, our undergraduate or our postgraduate, great. If you haven't done so, please apply. If you're still deciding and you want to discuss it, well, let us know. In the slides, you saw some names of course directors for the undergraduate ones. Just put their name with a dot in between and at canterbury.ac.uk, and they will be happy to answer your questions. And it's really important that you do get your questions answered. We want you to make the best decision possible. So for us, we'd look at your application and other factors, make the decision, make a potential offer, review those when the results are out, but we'd love to meet you. We'd love to see you join us. The ETD is in terms of, School of Engineering, Technology and Design, in terms of applications from international students, we're the second highest in the university based on our own statistics. And we're quite proud of that. That's combining undergraduate and postgraduate. I think it says a lot about the courses and the people that run them. And I think that might be, the last slide. Thank you for listening.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Scott and Dr. Amina. Really, really interesting presentation. And I'm sure our attendees found it useful and inspiring, very interesting facts as well. Before we jump into questions, I just wanted to remind everyone that GAS Gateway is open for application. So if you are our education partner, please ensure you submit your students' applications for September 2025 intake at the soonest. All of the programs mentioned earlier are available there. If If you have already done so and your students received an offer letter, please ensure you've arranged consultations, any outstanding documents at the soonest. The university already started issuing courses for September 2025 intake. So the sooner your students apply, the quicker they receive, obviously, costs at this stage as well, because as you can imagine, when it gets a little bit closer to the start date, it becomes much busier for admissions and compliance. So we want to avoid any sort of delays. And also it gives you plenty of time to apply for your visa and arrive in the UK on time for your induction. Richard, is there anything else to add before I jump into questions?
I don't think so, Degina. I think Scott and Amina have covered everything, and Scott also spoke about Canterbury as well as a lovely study destination. So yeah, nothing from me at this stage. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, let's have a look. We've got a few questions there. Are you offering placements for those bachelor's and master's courses? And if yes, how much will be the cost for placements for international students? Okay, and then I'll answer the second part of the question, I guess. So do all the undergraduate and postgraduate programs mentioned come with an optional placement? Yeah, or 6 months if it's for postgrad?
Yes, they all have either a year in industry or a 6-month placement option. Just to be really clear and transparent, so we're not misleading anybody, we would help find the placements, but we don't guarantee placements on there. I'm sure Richard could help me a little bit more on this, but the fees I'm not sure about, but there would be I believe there would be a fee because it's an extra module. But these can all be part of the discussion. I don't actually have the figures on the costs on that, but yes, there would be.
Yeah. I think it's £850, isn't it, Degina, the cost?
For postgraduate, yes, I remember for postgraduate it was £850 in addition to the standard tuition fee. For undergraduate, Dr. Amina, would you be able to help with that? Because I'm not sure if it's the same or is it a little different?
I don't have a precise figure at the moment.
It's all right, no worries. We'll double check and we'll come back to.
We don't want to provide false information.
Exactly.
But there would be a cost. Generally, those placements though are paid placements, so you're not doing things for free. So that's part of the problem. We do expect them to be paid. So yeah, I don't have the answers.
No, that's
Sorry.
okay, and that's a very good. That's okay. That's a very good point, actually. So normally, because you're going on a full-time placement, the companies actually pay you a salary or cover some sort of cost of your maybe travel or lunch expenses, or depending on obviously how many hours you will be involved with the company, how long for. But you are ultimately allowed to do a full-time placement as a part of your program as per the UKVI guideline, which is great. And you might actually get paid. So you'll definitely cover the cost, obviously, of the placement fee you pay to the university. And the university will help you to find that placement. But obviously, it's up to you to actually go through interviews, making sure you succeed, making sure you actually get the placement. It's never guaranteed. It's never been guaranteed anyway. So if student eligible for foundation with bachelor's in computer science, 3 years, and want to go for placement, how many years total would the student remain in the UK? Well, normally foundation plus bachelor's, that's 4 years in itself. And then if you add an extra year for a sandwich year, so for the placement, that's an additional year. So that makes it 5 years in total. Dr. Amina, just to double check, can students apply for placements from the start, so before they actually arrive in the UK? So that means they will receive their offer letter and then cost letter, so the visa letter, which would include placement. I think I've seen such offers being issued already.
I haven't seen the foundation year is usually doesn't necessarily include the placement, because in the UK that would actually take 5 years, would take them out of any funding source. So we can't answer the question necessarily about you can certainly do foundation and the degree. Whether the placement year, that would be discussion that would be needed just to clarify, because there's all sorts of regulations to start kicking in there.
Yeah, I guess they're asking about integrated foundation. I know there is a separate standalone foundation for international students, but there is also integrated foundation. So it depends which requirements students actually meet. If their English level is a little bit lower, then they're normally suggested to go for the standalone foundation.
It's not so much worried about the foundation, it's whether you can do the placements. I am unclear on that one, because it's 5 years, not 4 years. They're set up for 4 years, and the visas are usually set up for 4 years. Again, I defer to Richard and his team and other people around the university to advise on this.
Yeah.
I am not sure of the answer.
Good point. We'll double check with compliance team also, just to make sure that we provide correct information. Perfect. If a student completes data computing intelligence or MSc cybersecurity technology, would they be eligible to apply for research areas that CCCU is providing with big data and artificial intelligence, so cybersecurity and digital forensics for their PhD?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Amazing thing.
We would welcome self-funded applications. We have a limited number of funded PhD options, and they're usually focused, but like I said earlier, it's most of our current PhD students have actually come up through the MSc route, but we have very, very limited funds on funding PhDs. We would we love to accept self-funded, but as a fully funded PhD studentship, they are very, very limited. So we're certainly not promising them. What we would promise is, if somebody wants to apply and does a self-funded one, we would look at it. We would, if it suits, if it aligns with people's research interests, we can find supervisors that are appropriate. Now we started on the PhD thing. We would normally provide 2 to 3 supervisors per student. In that one would be called the chair of study, but they are still a supervisor. It varies what they actually do, and sometimes they provide further specialist knowledge. But we'd always have 2. If a supervisor left, we would find somebody else to step in and take over. You would always have somebody, like it's our supportive thing. We would not leave a PhD student hanging out there. We would step in and find somebody to deal with it, to support them, who's appropriate to support them. And we do it all the time.
Also, if I want to add something, we have many MSc student projects that will turn into papers that were published in journals and conferences, which put the student in a better position to get a scholarship in the UK, other universities. If we have, when the funding is available, we would love to have those students with us, but they're also that publications open the opportunities in other PhD nationally and internationally.
So, and we do that actually undergraduate as well. Some of our undergraduate projects have been turned into conference papers that all the names of the people involved. This is not the staff trying to take credit for it. A name would be on it, but so would all the students involved in that project's name be on it. And that often goes as a conference paper. We are very keen that students, if there's appropriate projects that lead to publishable work, we would look at getting that published. It's good for everybody.
Great, thank you. Really, really useful information. And just to add, most of our students are self-funded because they're international students, so they would normally need to pay tuition fees unless they've applied for loan in their home country. For example, in India, it's very popular, way to get the tuition fees covered by the education loan, but provided by their home country, so not in the UK. All right, great. Are there any scholarships available? So CCCU still offers international grant, which is £1,500. So tuition fees haven't increased for 2025 intake, which is great news. So it's still £15,500 across the board, foundation, undergrad, postgrad. And you will also receive, if you're an international student, you will receive £1,500 international grant. You don't need to submit additional application for that. Simply submit application via your education advisor, or if you're our partner, via Gas Gateway, and that will be reflected within your offer letter. So the initial deposit is £5,000 for both undergraduate, postgraduate. The only program that requires full fee is standalone foundation only, but for the rest, you can start with £5,000 cash deposit, and then you can pay outstanding fees in 2 installments. You can pay obviously in one go if you prefer, that's good. So you don't need to worry about finances, but in case if needed, you can pay in 2 installments. So 50% of outstanding fees, so that's 4,500 prior to enrollment. And then the next installment would be before your next semester. MOI, at present, CCCU does not accept MOI. However, this is being discussed, so there might be changes to that. So please stay tuned. We'll keep you posted if there are any changes to entry criteria at all. Okay, which percentage does the AI related course represent in the overall? So can we advise it to the student that is specifically interested in studying AI?
That's an answer. I need to a question for me. So can we advise it for students? Definitely. The course has been designed for the students who are interested in AI and data. I'm not sure I understood fully the first question. It is a core. It's an undergrad. I mean, we have 2 undergraduate course like any others. It's a bachelor degree, 3 years. The first year is common for all our courses, and then you can from the second year you start the BSc Data Computer Intelligence.
Right. I guess I hope that answered the question. Thank you. What are they?
Sorry, the question. Would the question apply to MSCs as well? I don't know, because I couldn't quite get the question.
Yeah, that's a good point. Perhaps you could clarify, Sibel, please, and we will take it later on. What are the advantages of studying at Canterbury, Christchurch, and Kent compared to larger cities like London?
Okay. That's very dependent on the person, but we're 90 minutes, sorry, we're not 90 minutes, we're 55 minutes by train to London, to St Pancras. So some of our students do commute from London to Canterbury. We wouldn't strictly advise that because it does, increase the cost and does increase your time traveling and these things. But the other side of that is we have quite a good community of international students on campus. We've also got people, sorry to point it out, like Amina, who understands what it's like to be an international person in the UK. Like I said, a lot of our staff in the school, especially across the whole school, are international. We try to do things to kind of set the scene a little bit more than perhaps some other places do about what it's like to be an international student, and that's bringing that from both experiences of being a academic teaching international students and now spotting, but also because a lot of our academics are originally from all over the world. They have been international students in the UK. They can bring that perspective as well, and they do. That can be quite enlightening to say what the difference is between different areas of the world and practices there. We've also, in the faculty, have an international officer who is wonderful, and most international students get to know her. We'll see, because there's change in the university, we'll see where that role plays, but that role is partly about just keeping people on track a little bit, along with their personal academic tutors, to say, yeah, in the UK, you really do need to be doing these things. She's very good at filtering what the university says compared to what's the real practice. I don't mean she's telling you anything wrong, but it's about that interpretation from an international perspective, and that's what we try to do. Canterbury, is a nice city to be around, and you've got the cathedral in the background, and you can see the cathedral from all over, from everywhere, pretty much.
I think also, Scott, to come in here, Canterbury is a very affordable option as well. I think the question was about London and Canterbury. Yeah, so I mean, very, very affordable when you compare it to London, both in terms of the cost of living, also our student accommodation as well. And Canterbury, as Scott has said, is a really beautiful city. You've got countryside nearby, you've got the coastline 20 minutes away. So, fantastic location as well. And finally, Canterbury is one of the safest cities in the UK as well. So that's also a great benefit as well.
And the university takes the safety of its students very, very seriously. Both us and Kent University run the Safe Space, Safe Zone apps, which is all about protecting both staff and students from any kind of issues that the university can step in and do, including providing areas that are good tracks for, so it's a safe route to go from certain places to certain places. It's being investigated. It's where the CCTV cameras are, all of these things. So yes, it's a safe city.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I'm just a bit cautious of time because we only have a couple of minutes left, but let's just go through a few more questions. All right. So the data intelligence course available with placement, is the placement paid or unpaid? So as mentioned earlier, it depends on the company, depends on the position, depends how many hours you will be involved with this placement. So it could be paid, but it depends again, it might be unpaid. Depends also how long the placement is for. But in many cases, the companies see you as a full-time employee, meaning they do cover some of your expenses, or they do actually pay your salary as well. And it's a 6 months placement. With a bachelor's degree, it's a 1 year placement. In many cases, I believe it is paid, because if you are on a 1 year contract with the company, you'd normally receive salary. So you should be able to also cover some expenses. But I guess the main advantage of having the placement is not just to be actually paid the salary, is to gain the soft skills, to gain experience, so that it helps you to then jump onto career ladder much quicker once you have graduated. So once you've secured your graduate route visa or post-study work visa, it will be easier for you to secure a full-time job, or you might as well stay with the same employer if they like you and if they have that position there. So they may decide to actually offer you a full-time job, and you can just continue working there, which would be amazing. All right.
And just to add a little bit to that one, it's about also understanding the British work culture as well, so that you can say that you have experienced it and that kind of stuff. It adds that extra little bit of, you said soft skills, exactly, it's perfect soft skills, but it's also about understanding a cultural difference. That's the other thing about coming to the UK. It's that cultural learning as well, adding to that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Perfect. Thank you. Do you accept 18 years of education on my basis with 6 years study gap? So again, on the study gap question, the university does exercise some flexibility, but it's normally considered on case-by-case basis. So just ensure you provide an up-to-date CV. All study gaps need to be justified within your CV, within your personal statement, and provide references as well, especially if you have been working full-time or if you've been volunteering or part-time, or even if you have been preparing maybe for IELTS. So every, study gap needs to be fully justified. Okay. Is the top-up program available for undergraduate degree, Dr. Amina? For example, if they studied associate degree from their home country, would students be considered for exemptions maybe to progress to CCCU top up or second year entry, or yeah?
It can be. It's based on the application, what they have studied before. We may accept them in the second year or third year.
Okay, so it's case by case basis, basically.
It's a case by case basis with a mapping to make sure that we're not setting them up to fail.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Estimated time for receiving the offer letters. Currently, offer letters are being issued very promptly. So that's why I'm suggesting you submit your application at the soonest. So in uni issues offers on CCCU behalf at the initial stage. And then once your students provided missing documents, past our consultation as well, just to make sure they're prepared for future interviews. We've noticed UKVI also does conduct interviews for some students, especially in few regions. So it's really, really important your students are well prepared. But offer letters are being issued quite promptly right now. We're not facing any delays with those, as long as you've provided a full package of documents. So please ensure you do that. We haven't got the CAS deadlines for September intake yet. We're still finalizing May intake. So in case if you submit applications for May intake and you still need to go through admission steps, please ensure you complete those, because the deadline's pretty much reached. But if you're still in the process and you received the unconditional, we've sent out the CAS deadline for those. But for September intake, we are yet to finalize the deadlines, and we'll be sharing them as soon as they're finalized. Okay. There is a list of lots of questions here, but I'll try to kind of go through them very, very quickly. CCCU have masters by research? Not at present. However, we had a discussion with CCCU where we discussed potentially recruiting for PhD. So this is yet to be finalized. So we might be able to start recruitment for PhD programs, but please ensure that students do have good research proposals. It obviously takes longer in terms of the assessment, given it has to go through the academics also. So please ensure that it's a strong case, that they're prepared to wait, but we're yet to finalize all the details and we haven't made the announcement yet. So once it's there, we will inform you. Initial deposit, as I mentioned, £5,000. Full tuition fee for the first year, £15,500 minus £1,500 scholarship, so £14,000 after scholarship. The same for PG and UG. Okay, so it depends on the program. IELTS requirements may vary. So you will just need to double check with our advisors on the ground, starting from IELTS 6 overall with B2B in each section. But again, some programs may require slightly higher IELTS as well. Bank statement, you would need to ensure that you've covered outstanding tuition fees for the first year after deposit has been paid, plus the living cost for outside of London area, and that needs to be maintained for 28 consecutive days. So that should be the amount on your bank statement, but please ensure you have some additional funds just in case if any currency fluctuations or any other issues, so that it's not, there's no possibility of visa refusal. Scholarship, I already mentioned, it's the same for everyone. Offer letter time, I've already mentioned as well. Currently, it's issued within 48 hours, so no delays really. Deposit. So right now, we can consider for September intake for you to go through the interview and pay deposit once you've past. However, as it's getting a little bit closer to the start date, normally you would need to arrange your deposit before interview. So if you apply right now, you may still benefit from this flexibility. So the sooner the better, but as it gets busier, that may change later on. Why should students should choose? Okay, Richard, maybe you want to take this one. Why should students choose CCCU over other universities? Please explain.
Yeah, so I think in terms of the student support that Scott and Amina have both talked about, so we're a very, very supportive and very, very caring university. And also, if you think about the end goal, so, you know, getting your degree and then finding a job, in 2023, we were #1 in the UK for graduates in work. So we're very, very strong at teaching employability skills, and we have many, many different initiatives as well available to all of our students to help them to secure that dream job at the end of their degree program. So yes, supporting students, we're very caring, and employability as well, Dagina.
Amazing, thank you. Okay, I can see Dr. Amin already helped to answer this question, but just to reiterate here, so both bachelor's in data computing intelligence and master's in data intelligence are for students interested in a degree on artificial intelligence. So that's really, really good to know.
Absolutely.
I know that that is becoming really trendy, and as it was mentioned in one of the slides, there is a demand for specialists in this area. So it's great to know that CCCU offers
just
both.
to add, what we offer in addition, it's not just about AI, but also about the data. So, and that's why within our team, we have specialism in the data aspect and the AI aspect. So we covering, and that's why the data intelligence come from. It's the data science and AI as well, either an undergraduate or the postgraduate.
And
Perfect.
we're looking to potentially change the name of that course to better reflect that.
Oh, that's great.
That's going through approvals at the moment.
Sure, that's great to know. Thank you. So what happens if the student is unable to secure the placement? Will this have any issues on the issuance of the degree? I don't believe so. Normally it's optional placement anyway. So if you secure a placement, happy days. It's great for your CV. As it was mentioned, you will gain some experience in the UK, as Dr. Scott mentioned, and it will help you to secure a full-time job in future as well. But if you don't, you can just continue and complete your degree much faster. So you will save some time.
It happens a lot. It's a really easy process to remedy because you've already on the course. It's just a transfer to almost exactly the same course without a placement. That's it.
Great, thank you. As requirements for pre-masters, I believe it's B2 level, so it's 5.5 in each section, Richard, right? Is pre-masters still being offered for September?
I believe so, Dagina, and you're right, okay. 5.5, spot on. Yeah.
Amazing, thank you. The June, so May intake, so we shared this earlier. Unfortunately, we don't accept any more new applications for the May intake because it's commencing next month already. We want to make sure we finalize this intake at the soonest because also Easter holidays are coming. So if your students reached unconditional stage and they've booked already their precast interview, they need to pay their deposit at the soonest. I believe it's by the 17th, the latest. So really you only have like few days remaining to do that. But if you haven't submitted application yet, please submit it for September intake. All the programs available for May intake are actually available for September, which is only a few months away. And we can take it from there. But if you have already received unconditional, like I said, you can still arrange your deposit, submit your CAS request if you pass pre-CAS interview, and we can still finalize your admission for the May intake, which would be great. So you can start a little earlier. at CCCU. Perfect. I think we reached the end of questions. Sorry, we ran out of time, but thank you so much, Dr. Scott and Dr. Amina and Richard. Really great presentation. And for everyone, stay tuned. We have more webinars to come pretty much on a weekly basis. Next week, we have a webinar on Tuesday, 15th of April on nursing program. So please join. If you're our educational partner, it's our first webinar, I believe, on nursing. So it will be really educational for everyone, including myself. So we'll see you there. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.